What if the next breath you take was your last? You close your eyes thinking you're about to sleep, but when you open them again, everything you've ever known is gone. There is no light, no sound of life, only screams that echo through endless darkness. You try to move, but the air feels heavy, the ground burns beneath you, and your heart begins to realize, this isn't a nightmare. This is the place Jesus warned about. The Bible doesn't soften its words. In Matthew 13:50, it says, "And shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth." That's not poetry. That's a description of reality for those who reject the mercy of God. And in this story, we're going to walk through what truly happens the very moment a soul enters hell. Not the Hollywood version, not the myths, but the one described in Scripture itself. Because what happens after your final heartbeat is something no one on earth is ready for. When Jesus spoke about hell, he wasn't trying to scare children. He was trying to warn adults. He mentioned hell more times than heaven, not because he delighted in it, but because he wanted to wake people up before it's too late. So imagine this: your heart stops, your eyes close, silence. Then, in the blink of an eye, awareness returns. You feel, you see, you remember. Luke 16:23 tells us that when the rich man died, he lifted up his eyes in torment. There was no delay, no waiting, no in-between. One breath in life, the next in flames. That's the first reality of hell, instant awareness. You don't drift into it, you wake up in it, fully conscious, completely alert, and suddenly remembering every moment of your life. And that's when regret hits harder than the fire itself. Every chance you had to change, every whisper of conscience you silenced, every time you thought, "I'll deal with it later," they all come back sharp, clear, and unrelenting. That's why hell is described as a place of weeping and gnashing of teeth. It's not just pain, it's the unbearable awareness that it didn't have to be this way. You see, in life we blame others, we justify ourselves, but in hell there are no excuses, there's only memory, perfect eternal memory. And if that alone terrifies you, it's only the beginning, because the second thing the Bible reveals about hell is that the fire never ends. Mark 9:48 says, "Where their worm does not die and the fire is not quenched." Think about that for a second. Flames that never fade, pain that never stops, a fire that burns but doesn't consume. It doesn't destroy you, it keeps you alive in torment. And the body, once a source of pleasure and pride, becomes the very vessel of suffering. The rich man in Luke begged for just one drop of water to cool his tongue, but not even that was given. That's the second moment of realization. There will never be relief, not for a second. And yet the torment of hell isn't just physical, it's spiritual. Hell is described not only as a place of fire, but as outer darkness. Matthew 8:12 says, "But the children of the kingdom shall be cast into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth." Outer darkness, that means total separation from God. Imagine a place where everything good, every source of comfort or warmth, every single thing that ever gave you joy is gone. The warmth of sunlight? Gone. The laughter of friends? Gone. The feeling of love? Gone. Even the simple peace of breathing in air? Gone. Because everything good you've ever experienced in this world was borrowed from God's presence. In hell, that presence is completely removed. For the first time, the soul understands what existence without God truly feels like. A world stripped of all light, all comfort, all peace. That's why hell isn't just unbearable because of its fire. It's unbearable because it's empty. You are surrounded by billions of other souls, all crying, screaming, begging for help, yet no one can hear you. Everyone is trapped in their own torment. There's no comfort in numbers here, only multiplied despair. And what makes it even worse is that the demons who once tempted you now torment you. Matthew 25:41 says, "Depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels." Hell wasn't built for humans. It was made for them, the fallen ones. But those who reject God willingly choose to share their fate. So now the question becomes, what does forever actually feel like? You and I measure time with clocks, days, and years, but eternity doesn't. Imagine 1,000 years passing and nothing changes. then another 1,000, then 1,000,000, and it's only just beginning. Revelation 14:11 says, "And the smoke of their torment goes up forever and ever. They have no rest day nor night." Forever and ever. Try to wrap your mind around that. There's no end, no pause, no hope for mercy. You can't faint to escape it. You can't die again to stop it. Time itself has died, but pain hasn't. This is where most people shut their minds, because it's too much to imagine. But Jesus described it this way for a reason, because he knew that if we could just feel for a moment what eternity without him is like, we'd never gamble our souls again. Yet this generation treats hell like a story. People say it's symbolic. Others say a loving God would never send anyone there. But Scripture says otherwise. Revelation 21:8 is crystal clear. The cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, the sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars will have their part in the lake that burns with fire and sulfur. This is the second death. Not just murderers, not just the wicked, even liars, unbelievers, anyone who rejects God's holiness. And here's the most terrifying truth. Hell will be filled with people who thought they were safe. Jesus said in Matthew 7:22-23, "Many will say to me on that day, 'Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, and in your name cast out devils, and in your name done many wonderful works?' And then I will tell them plainly, 'I never knew you. Depart from me.'" Think about that. These aren't atheists or enemies of faith. These are people who thought they belonged to him. They sang, they served, they believed in the idea of God, but never truly knew him. That's why hell is not just a place of punishment. It's a place of realization. The moment you enter, you finally understand the truth, but it's too late to change it. Every soul in hell believes in God now, but belief without surrender comes too late. And that's the final haunting irony. Everyone in hell prays, but none of their prayers are heard. Everyone in hell remembers the gospel, but none can respond to it. Everyone in hell wishes for just one more chance, but the chance is gone. So let me ask you, if this were your last day on earth, where would your soul wake up? Because eternity doesn't wait. It doesn't negotiate. It begins the moment your heart stops beating. Hebrews 9:27 says, "It is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment. There are no second chances after death, no appeals, no resets." But here's the part that changes everything. The same Jesus who spoke of hell also gave his life to keep you from it. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." Hell was never meant for you. It was prepared for the devil and his angels. You don't end up there by accident. You walk there by choice, by ignoring the warning, by pushing away conviction, by saying, "I'll deal with it later." But the moment you cry out to Christ, truly from the heart, the chains of judgment break, the fire loses its claim, and the gates of heaven open. That's the beauty of mercy. That's the shocking truth of grace. Because the same God who could judge you instantly chose instead to save you. So now, you have to decide, if you stood before him tonight, what would you hear? "Welcome home, good and faithful servant," or "Depart from me, I never knew you"? That's the only question that matters. Everything else in this life, success, money, pain, pride, all of it ends. But your soul doesn't. And that's why this isn't just a warning, it's an invitation. Because if you're still breathing, you still have time. Time to turn around. Time to make peace with the one who created you. Time to step out of fear and into mercy. Don't wait until eternity answers for you. If this message reached your heart, share it with someone who still has breath, because they might not have much time left. And remember, hell is real, but so is mercy, and the cross stands between the two. You decide which side you'll stand on.